Okay, so again, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening based on your time zones. So I will welcome all of you onto the Cloud Security Foundation course again today itself. And we will be discussing our topics for the day, which will be the mostly the your firewall. Oh, sorry, wireless. Okay, so today the topic will be wireless, and today's is going to be the completely theory based one, right? Again, why? I will be explaining that as I will be keep going ahead, that it required a few specific, your devices which you need to be using, which I am currently not having. Okay, so that's the one case. I will be just showing you, and we will be going through the your particular demos where you can find the demo. I will be guiding you that as well. So let's just start for the day, and we will be going with the your now Domain 3, again, offensive security basics. Today is the day 23 and day 9 of the offensive security itself. And today the topics are pretty much simple. Okay, so today things are going to be like your introduction to wireless network, type of wireless network, and wireless hacking tools. These three things are going to be our agenda for the day. Now, so without any further ado, let's just go ahead and let's just talk about the introduction to your wireless network. Now, wired is going to be more secure. Okay. Now, why I'm saying that? Because if you have to go ahead and get the access of the data that is traveling through your wired network, right? Now, in that particular case, well, what is going to happen in when we talk about the wired one, in that particular case, wired, if someone has to get that data that is traveling through the wired network, you have to make a cut over there, you have to connect some wire, and you should be good with that, and then steal the whole data. Like I was giving the example in the sniffing of the wiretapping. Now, when you go for the wireless, things are different. Why? Things are different in a way that you can go ahead easily. You can just have a particular device which is simply, you can have a device which is simply capable of sniffing the network, because what is happening, all your data is traveling in the air. You need to have proper tool, proper devices, so that you can capture those packet that is traveling in the air. You can get the access, you can crack them, and all the data will be yours. This is the very first thing that you need to understand about the wireless networks itself. Now, data is in the air, right? So, you might have heard something like, your love is in the air. It is similar to that, that your data is in the air. So, you know, okay. So when we are talking about the wireless networks over here, in the wireless network, you are going to talk about all these things. So if I will tell you a bit of a trivia about this thing, that very first time a wireless transmission that happened, it was the, I think, 12th of December 1901. Okay, and Morse code of letter S was transmitted over the your Atlantic Ocean. Okay, now we are talking about which is more secure, wired and wireless. So what is the protection in wireless for us if it is more easily your enjoyable, means catchable for the attacker, and they can just get the data. So they applied a method of the your encryption over here to protect the data in itself. So this is going to be it. And again, for all those guys who just joined us, let me refresh myself that today will be mostly the, mostly 100% theoretical day. Okay, so here we are. Now, when we talk about the wireless network, you will be seeing that wireless network is what? So it's few definition, official ones. We all understand wireless. So wireless network are the type of computer network that allow device to communicate with each other without the need of physical connection such as cables. Instead, wireless network use radio wave and other wireless technology to transmit the data between devices. Now, wireless network are used in wide range of application, from simple home network that connect a smartphone, laptops, and other devices to the internet, and large scale enterprise networks that support mission critical application. So all these are going to be the part of your wireless network. So again, before I start giving you the knowledge, all, start powering my knowledge on the encryption, and you guys feel start a bit boring, more boring, from there I will say. So if I'm talking about the your scenario, let me just erase all these things from here. That goes into the your wireless network, right? Six basic component, or you can say concept, that goes beyond the in this particular part. So very first thing, that is going to be the your signal, right? So we start with the signal. So signal is medium. You can see your signal. If I would have to say, I will be specifying more kind of thing is the medium, that how it is traveling. Now, most of you will be familiar that it travels through the electromagnetic wave, EMW, what we call it, right? It use EMW as a medium to transfer the information, okay, over the using the wireless signals to transmit the data. So that is very first thing. Second thing, the device, right? So all machine that send or receive the your data or signals, that is going to be the going to send this information, get the information, that is going to be device. Then third thing is going to be your Wi-Fi modes, right? Wi-Fi is modes. Wi-Fi modes. Now in the Wi-Fi modes, the device, they work according to different according to the assigned work. Like there could be the access point, they could be act as the your client, or they could be act as the ad hoc, right? Depending on what kind of word or the work they have been assigned over there. Now, then there is going to be the something like your Wi-Fi signals. Wi-Fi signals. So when we are talking about the Wi-Fi signals over here, there is the two frequency bands, right? Generally, very general we are talking about. So 2.5 gigahertz. So in your, many of you will be having dual band routers working with the 2 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, right? Two bands are there. Now, when we are talking about these channels and all these kind of a thing, so what is happening, there is going to be the, first of all, these are the frequency band, and each frequency band will be divided into the your channels now. And how you have to understand, if I will give you the kind of the example, these frequency band, they are like your apartments. Okay, now let's say that you are having a party on your apartments, right? You invited a house party, everyone is coming. So first room it got filled. So what you did, you shift the party in the back room, right? Then that got filled, you shift the on the other room. So that is the kind of the work with the channels. So if you have played around bit with your wireless, your router, you might have seen in 2.4 gigahertz, it is like your 14 channels. Okay, and not all of them will be for use. Okay, like in the different countries you will be finding that some are reserved. Like I think in US, like you don't use the 12, 13, 14 channel number, 12, 13, 14 in 2.4, okay, on your Wi-Fi, because it is reserved for TV and satellite use only, right? And now out of 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, 2.4 is lower frequency, 5 gigahertz is a high frequency band. Now, which one of these two is having the better range? Okay, 2.4 gigahertz is going to have that particular, higher frequency, higher range, better range as compared to 5 gigahertz. So 5 gigahertz is unable to penetrate through the lots of walls, doors, these kind of a thing. Okay, so speed will be higher on the 5 gigahertz, but range will be less. Okay, that is the simple things with this. Now, fifth thing is going to be the power and sensitivity. Power and sensitivity. Now, how well a device can deal with its interference and noise. Okay, that thing is going to be in there. And then sixth one is going to be the antennas. Okay, so there are the different type of antennas that you might have also seen, right? So if I will be talking about these some antennas, I have made them on the some of the slides even here. So types of antenna we will be talking about. So lot of things are going to be over there. Okay. Now when we are talking about the antennas, okay, so one thing that is one of my favorite from my childhood memories, you might have seen this kind of antenna. This kind of antenna, right? We place it on the rooftops for the TV, right? And then one person is, usually at the roof or outside in the balcony and, just rotating it in a direction. Okay, another person is shouting out like, okay, what is going, which is going, this is this way more clear, more clear. Yep. So people start, yeah, writing the name over here. Okay, like it is your Yagi antenna. And Yagi is mostly the your unidirectional antenna that you have to rotate towards a very specific range or site so that it can capture that from rotate that particular site wherever your tower is, so that it can capture the particular your uh, range over here. Okay, so that is the one thing. Then with this there is also going to be your another category. So I will be showing you some images as well. So here if you will see, there is going to be this dipole antenna, right? Means this will be having the two of the conductive elements over here like this, and typical metal rods or wire that are going to be oriented opposite direction and fed by the transmitter, transmission line in the center. So in two different directions it will be having. And dipole antenna is a basic and simple type of antenna which is usually used in the radio and communication center. So if you will see, if I will search some images, so there is going to be the dipole antenna. Okay, like this one. If you have seen these kind of the images somewhere, these kind of the antenna, I'm pretty much sure that you guys must have come across something like this. Okay, so already I talked about the bit on the which frequency bands. The difference is going to be bands, the speed, the range. That what we have discussed over there. Okay, so this is the bit of your let's continue with the your antennas. So this is the dipole antenna. Okay, then the Yagi antenna, which we were just talking about. Okay, so a Yagi antenna is also known as Yagi antenna as well. It is directional antenna which is commonly used in a radio communication or a television reception. So the Yagi antenna consists of single driven element, typically a metal rod or wire that is connected to the transmission line surrounded by several you know, parasitic elements. And the Yagi antenna is highly directional, meaning that radiate and receive electromagnetic energy in a specific direction. And I remember during, when I was in my school time was in the hostel, so there was a World Cup going on and we wanted to see it. So using our hangers, we created a particular Yagi antenna to receive the signal. Okay, so this is going to be the your one resources. Then there is going to be the your apart from this when we are talking about the Yagi antennas, this was the one type. So again, apart from that, there is going to be the patch antenna. Okay, so very these kind of the rotation based one, you might have seen this thing. So it is a microstrip antenna. Okay, it is only commonly used in the wireless communication system such as Wi-Fi network, Bluetooth devices, RFID systems. So your devices, that you will be having in those devices, these kind of patch antenna is used. So it is, you can see, as flat, rectangular or circular shaped antenna that mounted on the flat surface such as printed circuit board. So in your devices, it will be put over there. So it come on the like various size, shapes, rectangular, circular, and different shapes as well, which can be used over there as well. Now, bit strange one, you might have seen like this helical, very rare. Mostly in the research centers, you might have seen this kind of a antennas itself. So what is having? They will be having a conductive wire, and a spiral shape around the your that cylindrical cone itself, right? So it is again one of the directional antenna which is commonly used in the your satellite communication, space communication system, and other wireless communication application. Like I was saying, very rarely you will be seeing these kind of a thing that is going with this spiral kind of a scenario that is going to be in there. And then it can, again, the different size and the shapes could be there. That will be that depending on the design. Now something that we are very common to see, and that is this kind of the your parabolic antenna. So parabolic antenna, it receive your signal at a specific angle, means it signal should be hitting it at the 60° to 120°. Okay, and then this will be the receiver, and it will be reflected and being sent to this receiver over here, right? So a parabolic antenna known as the dish antenna is type of the antenna which use parabolic reflector, typically a curved metal dish to focus electromagnetic radiation such as radio wave or microwaves over there. Now this dish is designed in a parabolic shape, which means that it has the curved surface that shaped like a parabola over here. So that is the one thing. Now next one is going to be like horn antenna. Okay, so horn remind me of one more antenna that is going to be, have you heard about something like cantenna? Okay, it is pretty much similar to this one, the horn antenna which we are talking about. Again, a directional one consisting of a flared metal waveguide shaped like a horn. Okay, like this. It is designed to radiate or receive electromagnetic wave in a specific direction, commonly used in microwave and the radio frequency communication system. And it is characterized by wide opening at one end, called mouth or aperture, and it's narrow and called the throat. Okay, so like this is going to be in there. So there are two to three more things like cantenna. There is rubber ducky. Okay, so first of all, what is going to be cantenna? So again, it is just to increase the range. If you have seen Home Alone 3, right? So when we talk about the Home Alone 3, so there, that kid which left at home, he was using something like this to increase the range of that, I think, remote control that he was having. Something similar to this kind of a thing. You can made it at home as well. This is just to improve the range of your device. Okay, so this is something that you can use as well. This is cantenna. Now apart from the cantenna, like I was talking about the rubber ducky antenna. So like this, just in top of the your walkie-talkies, if you have seen this kind of a thing, or if you have used something like Alpha Card, so they have these rubber ducky antennas itself. Now, apart from this, there is one more, like it's called your ceiling dome. Okay, so in offices, have you seen something like this installed at the top, right? At your rooftops, at your ceilings, they have deployed something like this. So this is the ceiling dome antenna, and it is kind of the omnidirectional, means from every direction, like your router is also omnidirection, right? Transmitting in every direction and getting the your single, the receiving it from the all directions. So it is the your omnidirectional antenna as well, right? So these are going to be the very basic six things that we have discussed over here. So what we have discussed from the very bit of the beginning, the six concept that I was talking about, they are these. Again, your first signal was medium, electromagnetic wave, devices, like what kind of devices you are going to use for sending, receiving, transmission, what kind of their thing is. Then Wi-Fi modes, that what that device is going to do. It is going to act like a client or an ad hoc point or an access point or Wi-Fi signal, and their range like 2.4 gigahertz to 5 gigahertz. They were having channels, power sensitivity, how well go ahead and handle the noise. And then there is going to be the your antenna towards the end over here, right? So these things were the first basic thing that is required in the wireless itself. Now, we will be talking about the some other few factors that is going to be in there. That is going, first of all, going to be the some basic terminologies. Now, if you will be opening up, there is going to be the whole range chart from IEEE 8001, sorry, from IEEE 801. If you will be opening that 801 series, 801.2, 11.23, so there is going to be a whole series that define it. So there is going to be the different things that they will be talking about, that what is going to be the range, right? How, each, like you have the 802.11b, G, N, right? Those kind of things are also there. So if you will be going ahead that kind of a range, someone want to see that which kind of the frequency band support, how much of a speed, how much the range, all that kind of the description, you will be opening those, if you'll be searching for the description, these kind of a charts, that what is what. So you'll be easily finding there it over the internet as well. But right now we will mostly focus on the some basic terminologies, like there is going to be the your GSM, okay, global system for mobile communication. Again, I think the kids, the people who will be still in the college going through the networking right now, if they will open their book, they will be finding these kind of the communication going on over there. Like first one, GSM, okay, which is a standard for wireless communication used in the mobile phone and other device, which was developed in the 1980s. Then there is CDMA, so code division multiple access, digital wireless communication technology that allow multiple user to share frequency band and assigning each user a unique code. And then, you know, when you will be dealing with the your wireless over here in the pen testing or anything, so few terms you might come across, and in those few terms, one is going to be the BSSID. Okay, so first of all, there is service set identifier, which we call SSID. And this is going to be of two type. One, first one is going to be BSS ID. So it is the basic service set identifier, and it is unique identifier which is assigned to the each access point or a wireless router that is a part of wireless local network. And what, can anyone tell me what is going to be this BSS ID? Right, MAC address is going to be your BSS ID over here. Now, when we talk about these things, apart from the BSS ID, there is also, here again, they are talking about the SSID as well, service site identifier. Okay, so it should be, I think, BSSID. B is missing now. So BSSID. So BSSID, it is going to stand for basic. Oh, sorry, BSS we already talked about. My bad. Okay, it should be ESSID. Extensive your service set identifier. So it will be the name given to the wireless local network area. So you can identify through it. Like I have given my, wireless, one wireless, the name Luke Skywalker, another one, Kylo Ren. Okay, so this is something that what I have given. So two different name, unique name, they will be ESS IDs over there. So this is one thing. Then, we keep talking about this thing. So in the attack or threats, we will be talking about the rogue access point, rogue APs. So access point is what? Access point is going to be a networking device which is going to allow wireless devices to connect to a wired network using a Wi-Fi or other wireless communication standard. The access point acts as the central hub for wireless device to connect and communicate with each other and with the wired hub itself. And then hotspot is again very common name, common thing. So it is again kind of a wireless access point that provide internet connectivity to wireless device such as laptop, smartphone, and tablets. And we can say a place where wireless network is available for public use. And with that, usually this option you might have seen in your mobile phones, right? That is going to be in there. Now, with this, if we talk about some of the wireless in just the simplest thing, just of the simplest way, okay. Now, we were talking about this thing. So if I will talk about some of the wireless networks, so you remember, what I was saying, that access point is something that will allow you to access the device or the wireless network. So, it is kind of extension to your wired network. How? So, let's say that, in your home, you have seen this thing, a wired network is coming. Okay, now that wired network is there. From that wired network, you are going ahead and connecting your Wi-Fi router. Okay, and that Wi-Fi router is acting like an access point, that central hub in there, right? So this is going to be in there. So wireless standard WLAN, it is generally communicated with the 802.11. Okay, this is going to be the standard over there. Now, when we see this thing, so there could be the n number of ways of deploying it. One is like this, one is that this was my broadband router, for example, a broadband router, and this was my access point. So again, if I connect another access point to this one, access point here as well, AP1, AP2. So what happened is, this kind of the device will be called or architecture will be called your multiple access. Multiple access over here. Then if in the same, your broadcast router was like this, okay, broadcast router. Now you connected an access point over here, a router over here, access point 1. Now what you have did, you have added another extension point, but this time not directly to the broadband router, through this access point that was going on. So that is your extension point, what we have. Extension point. So this is going to be the whole of your chain. This will be called extension to a wired network. This kind of architecture, extension to wired network. Okay. Then there is going to be the another one where two LAN networks are connected via the wireless network. So two LANs are connected via the wireless network. This was the LAN 1, and let's say this is the LAN 2, like this. So this will be called LAN to LAN wireless network, and last is going to be your 3G, 4G, 5Gs hotspots that you are creating. So the different architecture will be following you while you are in the networking itself. So you have to do nothing. You will be just simply searching for something like wireless standards. Okay, and you will be getting a lot of details. So just a sec. Can I find this thing? Okay, like this one. Okay, if you will search, yeah, even though I am in the pictures part, right? So if you will open something like this, a wireless standard, so it will be giving you the whole picture over here, that what range and everything is going to be in there. So if you go in here, uh, not a very good picture, I would say. This one looks good, like this. Okay, so like this one or ABG, or this one, you can pick these kind of a any of the charts over here, or this is a chart for 802.11. So you can see the different things are there, like B, G, A, G, N, which frequency band they support, what is their bandwidth, okay, modulation scheme, maximum rate, speed, everything. So usually 802.11 will be discussed, but apart from the 802.11, there are some few things else as well. So can anyone tell me what is the standard for the Bluetooth? 802.11 is for the wireless. Okay, WLAN, what we call generally. It is your 802.15.1. Okay. Now, similarly, in IoT devices, you might have heard about the Zigbee. Zigbee working as the 802.5, your 15.4. That will be Zigbee. 802.16. So WiMAX I was using like 7 years ago. So when I was in the college, so there was not a very good reception. So what we did, we purchased the, an internet connection from a government, telecommunication agency. And what they did, they gave us a WiMAX connection where we were having a receiver and we have to rotate it into the specific direction that where it is. Then from there, you know, the LAN cable will be connected to the router and then it will be working like that, right? Like I have fixed that your receiver on the rooftop and rotated towards the market area where the tower was, and then receiving all the signals over there. So this is going to be the WiMAX, that how it will be in there and how it will be working with the different scenarios itself. Now, while we are talking about all these things and all the different scenarios over there, the antennas and everything, so there is few things that again we need to understand. Now, we are using, because I will be after this talking about the authentications usually. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to talk about the in the this page itself. Okay, types of antenna well I was talking about to just give you the bit of the idea. Okay, so what happened is we have something like what we call the Wi-Fi authentication that is happening, right? So what attacker is wanting? So if you have heard the Wi-Fi hacking, so what is usually attacker is after? So let's say for example, you are having a router. Okay, this is a router. So what happened is you will be sending a request. This is you as a user. You send a request that, okay, I want to connect to you. Now, what will happen? This server will be sending you a challenge, right? So a challenge will be sent to you that this is going to be there. Now, what a challenge is means it is asking you for a password. Now, you go there and you do something like the response challenge and you respond to that particular challenge. Challenge was what is the password? And then if you know the password, you will be responding with the password over there. Now, what is going to happen is if whether your password was correct or incorrect, either you will be allowed or disallowed, right? One of these two cases that is going to happen. Now, attacker who will be sitting here, this is the attacker. Attacker want to capture, you send the request to connect to this one. So attacker always want to capture this challenge response scenario. So this is the four-way handshake that is happening. And an attacker always wants to capture this challenge and response, although this will be going completely encrypted. But still attacker will try to crack it. Now thing is, if you are encrypting it, you might be using some technology. Either you will be using from the security point perspective, WEP, WPA, or WPA2, right? At least one of these things you are surely going to be using. And the latest addition is this WPA3, right? So this is what we are having over here. So now we will be talking about these of the your wireless encryption, which is the our one of the security against the wireless attacks. So first of all, we will be starting with the type of wireless encryption. We go with the very back around the 90, 96, 99. So what happened was your wireless wasn't rolling out. Now we require the something to provide a good amount of security itself. So to provide a good amount of security, what you start having the concept like we require a protocol which can protect us. So we come up with the idea of the wireless equivalent privacy, WEP over there. Now, when you will be talking about the WEP, WEP is going to have its own problem in its hand. Okay, so why? So here guys, I will be requiring you guys to have a bit of the knowledge onto the your encryption. So it was having its own problem. First thing is when they launched this thing, they didn't go ahead and they didn't talk or discuss it with whom? Your uh, there are crypto analysts, right? So what they generally do is they simply go and analyze any of the algorithm that you are using, whether that is strong or not, right? Whether it is capable or not. So without their consulting them, so this has been launched, and then what happen is there is going to be few properties of it. First of all, some theory. So WEP is the wired equivalent privacy is a security protocol used to protect wireless network from unauthorized access. So WEP was introduced as a part of 802.11 wireless networking standard in 1999 and was widely used until replaced by the more secure protocol like WPA, WPA2. Now, what it generally do? It is going to use the algorithm which is the RC4 stream cipher, okay, to encrypt data and transmit it over the wireless network. Now, we know it is telling it that we can't use it anymore because it has several security weaknesses. Most critical weaknesses that it used fixed encryption key, that keys were not being changed, which were easily intercepted and cracked by the any attacker. Right? This was the first of the set of the things that is going to be with this here. Now, if we talk about few more things that is going to be in here, that is going to be the, with the WEP, first thing is this. Now, what else can be there? Few other things. With the RC4 stream cipher, they were using the 24-bit of initialization vector, okay, with the RC4. Now, this was weak, means easily guessable. You can guess the 24-bit and it was easily crackable. With the time, what happened is at the time when any encryption bees, being known, right? So what is going to happen is it was the overall 64-bit of WEP. Now 24-bit for the your initialization vector, and then we left with the 40-bit key. At that time there was limitation that what could be the size key, okay, a key size. So that's why at that time 64-bit was allowed. But later on there comes that 128-bit WEP as well, which was having then the 104-bit of key as well. So this was the very beginning initial one. And whenever I was saying a new protocol is developed, at that time it is very strong, right? Any of these things. Now, okay, now when we are talking about all these things, what we were talking about, that 40 bits are here and 64-bit WEP was there. So what happened with time, when processing power, computing power, they increase over the time, this 24-bit initialization vector, it will become easily guessable. And what happened around 2003, FBI, they openly demonstrate that how to crack your WEP, right? And it causes all the way. I was saying that its key was not being changed and all these kind of a scenario. Now what happened is once this was done, you know, so our Wi-Fi Security Alliance, they think that okay, we need to provide more of a security. This is kind of failing. So they come up with the idea that okay, let's just do one thing, push a firmware update. And while we are working on a stronger method, why don't we push some update and try to overcome some of the shortcomings of our WEP? So they come up with the idea of Wi-Fi protected access. So still, base was your RC4 stream cipher, which was weak, but they changes few things that is going to be in there. Okay, and in that, what is going to be the what are going to be the few things that will be changed at that particular point, like let's just first see the theory of this, then I will be telling you that how the changes initiated the different thing. Now when we are talking about this whole scenario, right, Wi-Fi protected access, so first of all it is designed for the wireless computer networks. Okay, then it was developed as a replacement for the WP as we were talking about, which was found to have several weaknesses. WPA was introduced as a part of 802.11i wireless networking standard in 2003, and it provides stronger encryption, better authentication mechanism, and WEP making the than the WP, and it make more difficult for hacker to access the wireless network. And one of the main weakness was it can be vulnerable to brute force attack, where an attacker repeatedly try to guess the network password until they find the correct one. So this thing was there. Now, when we are talking about the whole scenario in this one, so what was the changes that was made? So this was just the theory part that that is mentioned here. Now, technically, if we will talk about in WEP, first of all, keys were never being changed, so they introduced something like the TKIP, okay, temporal key integrity protocol, right? TKIP was being introduced at that point. Now, with the TKIP, it was, first of all, with that TKIP, I will be telling it, but it was doing something which is called the per packet per key mixing. It was having the 128-bit key. With that, it was also having something like the 64-bit MIC, Michael Integrity Checker itself. Okay, 64-bit of MIC, Michael Integrity Checker. Now, this introduction of TKIP, it was using a concept per packet per key mixing. Okay, with different packets, different keys were being used. Okay, so it is called your key mixing concept. Key mixing concept. Now they were using this thing. With this one additional thing, these temporal key that you were having, the temporal keys, they will be changed after 1,000 packets. Change after your 10,000 packets. Okay, 10K packets, you will be changing them, right? And this time we increase the size of initialization vector to the 48-bit initialization vector over there. So overall, we were trying to make it strong. But remember, this was what they do this via the firmware update onto your devices, and still the basic algorithm that it was using, that was your RC4 stream cipher. And this was just a temporary solution in between. So they wanted a stronger solution out there, and they come up with the idea of the WPA2 over here. So they think that, okay, why don't we start talking about or delivering the WPA2 at this particular point? Now, when we are going to talk about the WPA2, so in the WPA2, we will be discussing something like your, first of all, with the WPA2, there is your Wi-Fi protected access second. Now, in this one, there is going to be theory, first of all. Okay, first is Wi-Fi protected access. WPA2 is a security protocol that is widely used to secure wireless computer network. It is considered to be highly secure protocol and is still commonly used in today. So very less of you, I am pretty much sure, is using the WPA2. Oh, sorry, 3 or 1. Mostly will be stuck with the WPA2. Okay, so what they did, they changed the whole algorithm. So they changed its algorithm to the AES, Advanced Encryption Standard Encryption, Advanced Encryption Standard, right? So which is considered to be highly secure and difficult to crack itself. Now it support, you know, now it support your longer, more complex password or passphrase, and which is making it more difficult for attacker to guess or to crack itself. Now WPA2 can still be vulnerable to brute force attack. Okay, so if we have also tried this multiple times, and where attacker, they are trying to guess the network password until they find the correct one. And this might be mitigated using a strong and complex passphrase itself, but it introduced a lot of other things as well with it. So with this thing, might be few things you might have seen in your corporate as well with the access of the WPA2. Okay, so what they did, first of all, AES they start using. Okay, they made a change. They start using the AES, Advanced Encryption System, and with that they also start using CCMP. Now, anyone here who can guess the full form of CCMP? Very interesting one. That's why I'm saying. No one can guess. That there was my habit that if I'm sitting in the exam, I will be going ahead and you know guessing if full form is like RPA. What is it? Its full form like that. but never succeeded in this one. Okay, so look like someone copy pasted a lot of thing over there. So CCMP is actually, if you have studied bit of a encryption, there are different methods of doing it, right? So here, using the blocks and all those kind of a thing. So first is it is going to be it is going to use the counter mode. So counter mode. Okay, counter mode with cipher block chaining. Okay, so where is the cipher block chaining. So first two C, counter mode with cipher block chaining. M means message authentication. So it will be then message authentication code protocol. Okay, that's why I always fail to guess this thing. Okay, so this is going to be the counter mode with cipher block chaining message authentication protocol. So AS and CCMP they start using together. So if someone who is familiar with the cryptography, you might be remembering what we do. We have the initialization vector. With the initialization vector, and then you will be having the XOR gate. You will be putting the key and your first block, and you will be encrypting this whole thing. The output of this will be passed to the another block, right? So the chaining that we are talking about, the cipher block chaining. So this is all about these kind of a thing, adding a key over here. So this is the way that you are using over there. Okay, so this is a bit of a thing that they start using more, your strong authentic encryption methodology they introduce over here. With that, they introduce 128-bit of the key. They started with that 48-bit your initialization vector. Okay, with this, and then here they divide it into the two different kind of the authentication way, two authentication way method we can say. First one is going to be the personal, right? So now what you are having that how you want to communicate over there. Now we started with the, till now you are having just one way that you are going with the, simply the passphrase you are going to have, and you are going to use that, simple as that. But with time, we updated it into the two different categories. That one is going to be the WPA2 personal, which is going to use what? PSK, pre-shared key. Okay. It is going to use a pre-shared key to protect the unauthorized network access. Okay, now this was having the same thing, 128-bit key, which will be helping you to derive the your ASCII character. Second, they said that you can use something like your enterprise authentication as well. So like in organizations, you might have seen your authentication is happening on a centralized server. Okay, so when we are talking about this kind of a scenario over there, that enterprise will be there, and it will in enterprise one centralized authentication you are using. So if you're familiar with the protocols like EAP or radius server you have heard. Okay, EAP or radius server if you have heard. So this is going for the your centralized client authentication. So multiple the authentication method will be used. So like if you are familiar with the Kerberos, one of the very beginning centralized authentication methods. So like similar to that, there is EAP or Radius, which you can use for centralized authentication. And what it gives to the a term. If you have heard, so what is happening in simple term? If there is a user who want to authenticate, right, and use the access point, wireless access point. So this is going to be your router, for example, and then there is going to be this server, which will be you know uh, standard for this centralized authentication system, 802.1x, right? So this is going to be the centralized authentication radius servers where you'll be using. So let's say this is radius server, AAA server, right? Now, what is going to be there is you will be starting from here. you want to do the authentication. So you said that I want to connect. It will say, okay, you know, request you send. It will say, okay, who are you? Means, it will ask you that who are you? Give your credentials. You will submit the credential, passphrase, your code and all. Now that will be sent here. Authentication will not happen at this router now. It will be sent to your particular Radius server. Now Radius server will be authenticated whether you are a valid user or not. If you are valid user, a response will be sent either accept or reject. Okay, if you are accepted, a key pairs will be sent for both of you. That use these key pair for the communication. Then that key pair will be passed to the your user as well, and you will be using those key pairs to communicate. Now, this particular access point is only there for the taking your request and forwarding it over there. Now, what it is in this cases, just like thin client, it is called your thin access point, thin APs. Okay, this is called your thin access point as well. So this is the one another part that has been introduced with the WPA2. So WPA2 was kind of revolutionary over there. Okay, but it was not, again, not completely secure. So there was the attack with the name like PMKID attack, right? So there are attacks like PMKID which can go ahead and impact your whole, okay, help you to crack the data, grab the data. PMKID you can do. There was the attack like the crack, which was being done against the your WPA2, which was successful. So we need to do and search for the better one. And remember, I was telling you that over the time, the strong what is the strong your you know encryption algorithm today, it will not be this strong on the next one. Okay, now what was the solution to this one? That again, there was a shift in power, and recently, while this COVID was happening, although around 2018 itself, they start working and running the demos for the WPA3 standard. Okay, so WPA2 was around 2007 when they launched. So till then, still we are using it, very strong one. But for future purpose, they already deployed a new one. So during the COVID, when it started, there was this whole your conference that was happening on the your Wi-Fi protected access 3 that was being launched. Okay, so we launched the WPA3, and that was the WPA3 again. So this was the Wi-Fi protected access 3. So you change a lot of thing here. So as I was saying, from 2018 they start running the demonstration over there. Okay, so Wi-Fi access is latest security protocol for your wireless network. It was introduced in 2018 as the improvement over previous WPA2. So WPA3 created by Wi-Fi Alliance, non-profit organization that promote Wi-Fi technology and set standard for the wireless network. So it is designed to provide stronger security, better protection against the attacks on the Wi-Fi network. Some of the key feature here is going to be the enhanced encryption, protection against packet sniffing, public Wi-Fi security, and issue with the WPA3, limited adoption, compatibility. Many of the devices are still not compatible over there. Vulnerability in the Dragonfly handshake used by the WPA3. So few things that they added. So what they added over here, let me just show you again or talk about them. Few additional things. Now, first of all, they change the initialization vector this time. So your initialization vector, it become your 2 to the power. If we talk about this, from 1 to your 2 to the power 64. Where it will be, if you have latest Android phone, in this setting, I am trying to go into my setting as well. You can check your connection and sharing the options in there. Okay, or the hotspot. Okay, wherever is your hotspot settings, Wi-Fi hotspots. So you can just search for them, and there you might be seeing the options to change it to the your WPA3 itself. Okay, so if you go there and check for this one, WPS connection, no, not the WPS. Okay, your security option, check this. Like in my phone, there is WPA, PSK, WPA2, PSK, WPA2 PSK, WPA3 PSK, or WPA3 PSK only, right? These options is there. So you can check in your simple, if you don't want to open your Wi-Fi router settings, so you can check there as well in your simple mobile hotspot as well, that what it is providing right now. Okay, for me it is providing this one. Now in this one, what we are going to do, okay, so this is the one part. Now in this one, when we will be going ahead, so first they introduce initialization vector of 1 to 2 to the power 64. This time it is arbitrary in length and key size was 192 bit. Okay, this time apart from that, what they have, rather than having four-way handshake, they change it with the four-way handshake was replaced instead of four-way handshake. They were going to have your elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman ECDH or elliptic curve digital signature algorithm. They are going to use that. Now what again, there was two division. There is going to be first of all your WPA personal. Okay, now what is happening? So AES also they changed. So which mode I will be providing it, I will be telling you that as well. So mainly it was being used to deliver the password when we talk about the WPA3 thing. So what we are using for delivering the password, you have to use something which is called SAE, simultaneous authentication of equal, which replace the pre-shared key, also known as Dragonfly key exchange. Dragonfly key exchange, and now there is a bit of a vulnerability for Dragonfly key exchange as well. Okay, but yes, it's still better than the other. So what it do, it why they choose this thing, because this thing it will resist this WPA3 personal, it will resist any dictionary attack that was happening in the previous version. So one video I will be sharing with the all of you on our InfosecTrain channel itself, where you can see how to go ahead and do the wireless hacking. Okay, that is already in our InfosecTrain channel. I will be guiding you a bit as well theoretically, and rest you can see through that one. Now we will be talking about this thing, WPA personal. Then there was the WPA enterprise. Okay, now as I was saying, not only initialization vector was changed, but your algorithm is also used, which was the AES GCMP 256. This was being used this time. Okay, so GCMP is Galileo's counter mode protocol. So here WPA2 it use GCMP 256 for encryption. Okay, for the encryption, and for key generation it is going to use HMAC SHA 384. Okay, and for key exchanging the key, it start using your elliptic curve digital signature algorithm 384. Okay, ECDSA 384. So this is something that they have changed over there, make it very, very strong. So, trust me, even personally, I haven't tried to crack the WPA3 yet till this point. Okay, so I'm just telling you this from the basis that there was a vulnerability in your Dragonfly key exchange that could be exploited over the time itself. So these are some of the attack that was in there, right? So we have these ways of providing the encryption. So all these are the all encryptions that is available to us right now. So these are the some of the things that is available, and the some of the encryptions that are out there for us to go ahead and use. Now we have learned all the basic terminologies and all the things over there. So moving ahead, what else we will be requiring? So we will be first talking about some of the attacks that can be done onto the your wireless network over there. So we will be going ahead, and then I will be talking you some terms as well, which is used in there as well. So first of all, there will be some overall attacks that is going to be the your access control attacks. So and before we start doing this thing, let me see that how many of you are interested in cracking the, like Wi-Fi of your neighbors, right? So I think most of you will be, interested. So first thing, if you are having the VM machine, like I am having the VM machine, so already it is running inside my laptop. Okay. So when it is running inside the laptop itself, what is going to happen this time? You will be first, requiring a specific device. So you need to understand, I am having a laptop right now. Okay. And with that, what is happening? I'm having a laptop, and inside the laptop, you are running your particular VMware, right? Now, already the Wi-Fi adapter that is there with your virtual machine that is being used very specifically with the your virtual laptop as well, and you can't put it into the something which we call the manage mode. Okay, so or we can say monitor mode. So what you will require an additional hardware which can help you out. Okay, and that additional hardware will be something like Alpha card, Pineapple card. Okay, and why I'm saying Alpha card, because already the driver and all are pre-installed in your Kali machine, so much easier to use. So something like this or this you will be using. Okay, this type of a Alpha card. So you will connect it, and what will happen is that you can put this card into the monitor mode, and as soon as you will put it in the monitor mode, so it will tell you that whole Wi-Fi in your neighborhood region, which particular Wi-Fi's are available, and which is going to be the ones which is are available. Then you can select one as a target as well. You selected one as a target, and then running with the tools, like there is a very popular tool, aircrack. Okay, aircrack -ng. So this is just like metasploitable collection of multiple command line tool. Okay, so it is similar to that. So aircrack is something that you will be using with this, and you will put it on the monitor mode, start receiving all the packets. Once it is done, you will be doing the kind of the brute force, and then it is going to be there. Use it. So this is like the alpha card. Okay, there will be different version variant of this one, pineapple as well. So this is something that is there. Earlier, one of the this Wi-Fi kind of the things that happened was is what we were doing in, I think around 2017 or 16. I purchased one with the TP link. I was able to put it onto the what uh monitor mode, but not the latest one. I don't know after 2018 what happened. I those TP links on, they were we were unable to put them into the your particular Wi-Fi mode. So there are different ones. There are pandas and all as well. But yes, this is something which you will be finding cheaper, and at the as compared cheaper. If you'll be seeing other in the same category, the costs are going to be very high. Okay, so you like this you can use, and with this help of these kind of a scenario, you can have something like this. Okay, now you have to check, many of you will be having doubt that whether I will be using my laptops directly installing the Kali on the laptop, and that can I do that. You have to make sure that you are able to put your Wi-Fi card into the monitor mode. You have to check that. Okay, that is something that you have to check first of all. Then only you will be able to capture the packet that is traveling in the network. So first thing, you will be requiring this. In addition to that, I'm showing you one link, okay, from our InfosecTrain itself, right? So just a minute. It will be having the whole demonstration of how to do the wireless hacking, right? So before that, let me just make it the blank page. So you remember we were talking about having the your Wi-Fi, when we were talking about the Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi routers over there. So when we are talking about the attack on the wireless network and all these things, so we were able to put our card on the monitor mode. Once you will be able to put your card onto the monitor mode, what you will be doing, you will be going ahead and you will be simply start collecting the your resources. Okay, means you will be start monitoring that how many networks are there and how they are going to work and everything step by step. You will be going ahead and you will be start doing first thing aerodump command, right? Before that, you will be going ahead, you will be starting the set, airmon and starting the monitor mode with the airmon command. So air crack tool suite, it come with the different command like air crack. Okay, -ng suite I'm calling it. So means it is going to have different tools like airmon airmon-ng. So if before this your Wi-Fi was something like WLAN 0, it will after this command it will start showing you like WLAN 0 mon, means now you are in the monitor mode. Okay, once you have the you will be in the monitor mode. What is going to happen is after this, when you are on the WLAN 0 mon mode, in this one you will be start seeing all your Wi-Fi that is in your area and all those kind of a thing. Right now you will be used, let's say that for doing that, once you put in the monitor mode and you want all that data, what is the Wi-Fi's, my neighbor's Wi-Fi, so you will be using a command again which will be like aerodump -ng. You'll be using this and simple like this WLAN 0 mon, and what it will do, it will give you a table will be having things like the BSS ID, ESS ID, right? It will be having which channel you are using, which kind of encryption is enabled, right? Whether pre-shared key is enabled or not. A table will be like this. So you will be seeing if your neighbors, there are 5 Wi-Fi. So all those 5 Wi-Fi you'll be seeing till where you have range, their MAC address, their name, which channel they are working, which encryption they are using, which pre-shared key they are having, what cipher, they are using, even beacons. Beacons is traffic, how much packets they are handling. So all that data you'll be seeing. So without even connecting to those machines, easily you can see these kind of the information. Once you have this kind of information, it become easy for you. Again, use something like aerodump and anyone, pick anyone as the target, like second one, right? And give this channel number or its file, no? And you'll be creating a file. Give the file name like 2 is belonging to the, for example, Prakhar. So the Wi-Fi name is Prakhar. So if you will save the file with the Prakhar name, so all the packets that is being sent or received by this Prakhar's router, that will be stored in this Prakhar file. Okay, so without knowing the password of Prakhar, I can capture all the packet. Why? Because it is traveling in the air. Right? That is the one of the benefit or advantage what I was always saying. And it will keep running until it will find something like it capture challenge response or handshake, challenge response handshake. So if this will anyone, what happen is someone try to connect with this router and this challenge response scenario, it happen instantly, this will stop and it will give you a warning that yes, we have successfully captured the traffic, or sorry, successfully captured the handshake, that handshake that we were talking about in the beginning, the password where you send the password. Now you require the traffic. Those devices are easy to crack which has more traffic, right? So why we want that, let's say this was a router and there was 5 people connect to this one. So if let's say they will keep working, means 5 people means lot of traffic will be exchanged. Then what you can do is, I want someone to force out of the network. So I will increase the traffic. I can do the DOS attack on this one. Why? So that let's say these two, they disconnected. And when they again try to connect, they will exchange that challenge handshake. So sometime attacker with this, they use the another tools over there like air replay to do the replay attack. So this can capture the packet, replay it again and again, or it can send the fake packets as well, like fake authentication packets. Okay, so it can send that spoof packet, fake packet me or spoof packet or fake authentication request. Okay, so what we are doing on router, we are doing DOS attack, increasing traffic, increase the traffic till someone got disconnected. So this is something that you will be doing once it is there. Once this is captured, then you can run in the very end, you can run something like air crack command to crack the captured password. Because it will be encrypted, you need to provide a dictionary. And that's why we were saying that it is going to be prone to the dictionary attack itself, right? So this whole method that I was just explaining to you, you will find it on our this particular video itself, wireless hacking demonstration. Okay, so you will be finding it over here. Right at this point, you will be going and you will be checking that out. So it will only 24-minute video, which will be giving you this whole thing that I explained. If you have proper device, you can go ahead. You can do these kind of the attacks over here, right? So this is the one thing. Now, I was just trying to explain this whole thing at once. Now what I will do, let me just erase all this ink from the slide and just talk about some of the normal attacks that can be run onto the wireless network. So first of all, there could be done the attacks like eavesdropping. Okay, like I was giving you the example right now. This type of attack, it involved intercepting and capturing the wireless network traffic. So we were very easily able to do that right now. So I was telling you that about that, correct? So without even connecting to my or knowing the password of my neighbor's Wi-Fi or anything, you can just going to be there and you can start getting those things over there, right? All the data packets, you can start dumping those packets over there. That is the one thing. Now, when we are talking about the, your some other scenarios over here, uh, in order to steal what you are doing, you can steal sensitive information like login credentials, credit card numbers, or other personal data as well, right? Then there is going to be the your man in the middle attack. So there is one attack, once you have the login credentials or others, so you can just simply, you can easily intercept the communicate, right? And once you have cracked the password, you will be having the way or means to, sitting or putting yourself in between and working with that. So if you sit in between, you can do something like a crack attack after that, which will be capturing the all the key and use them for yourself for the further communication in the future, right? That also you can do. Then there is going to be the something like password cracking. Okay, attacker, they can use the tool to crack weak password used to secure wireless network, allowing them to gain the access to the authorization, like we were talking about cracking the password. And then something like the rogue access point. So this concept is very good. So what you understand by the rogue access point? So, not always when I'm saying rogue access point, it doesn't mean that rogue means, let's say that in your organization, you have placed 5 of your, Wi-Fi routers or access point. Now, attacker, it visited your physical location and place a Wi-Fi over there with almost same name, right? And then now there become the sixth one. Okay, so what it is, a rogue access point, because you don't have the permission for that. Now, not always why the rogue access point is different from that. Okay, so it has a reason behind it, and reason is that sometime a rogue access point could be, not a threat. What could be, your employee, what happens suddenly network connection is gone, internet connection is gone. So what happened? They think that, okay, can we use something like, our personal hotspot? So they go ahead and they create their personal phone, their hotspot over there. That is also a rogue access point, right? That doesn't have the permission from your organization to being set up, but still someone goes ahead and set that up, and it will be now known as the rogue access point. You will be categorizing it as the rogue access point for sure. Okay, so this is going to be the one another thing. Now when we are talking about these things, so one example I was giving, so I remember of one attack as well. Okay, maybe you have seen in some movies or in some your shows. Like I remember one suddenly, uh, how to sell drugs online fast, right? That's a German series. Okay, so if you have seen that one, there was one of the your character whose girlfriend was doing the same kind of a thing. So what she usually do, okay, so I will use that example. So she will be sitting outside some hotels, right? Now hotel, they will be having the Wi-Fi routers. So almost with the similar name, you will be putting a Wi-Fi out there, right? A wireless network over there. So let's say that if this name was the hotel A Wi-Fi. So giving the name like the hotel A's Wi-Fi, right? So this is the authentic one, and this is this is the original one, and this is that its evil twin with the same name, right? Or almost same name. So what people will be thinking that that okay, this is the one. So what was happening? The any of the guest in that series who was getting trying to connect with this one, so they will keep it like open. So they go ahead, they connect with this one. Now what happened, all their data will be going through the your like Pineapple has a whole kit of doing these kind of a thing. So you will be the whole data will be going through the your attacker's server. Now attacker can intercept all the data, what it is, why it is, and just so what she was doing, she was just going and then recording the screen and then blackmailing them, right? So simple like that. So here as well, attacker, they will have hands on their whole data, so they will be just waiting for this to complete, right? So this is one thing. Now another way of doing the same evil twin is they will be keeping same name, and what they will do, they will force like people was on originally connected here. Now they will force these people to disconnect from here. So that will be, when you are making someone disconnected from the device, that will be called disassociation attack. Disassociation attack over here, right? So that is going to be, you'll be doing that same air replay command like I was telling you, sending the lot of packet and forcing people to disconnect from there. Once they will be disconnected, they will again try to connect with the hotel's Wi-Fi, and yes, they will be going ahead and disconnecting them very easily over there, right? So this is something that can be done as well. And one of the very interesting one, which I remember, alter attack, very interesting one. And first I was thinking that this is the, simply, something that is may kind of made up, but later someone from the, you know, agencies, investigation agencies, they joined my session and they let me know that on a specific border, some attackers, they were using this kind of a thing. At first, it will look like, very absurd attack kind of a thing that, how this is possible. Okay. So even there is a simple DOS attack as well, like, alter attack is there. Simple DOS attack can also happen in there. Like, you are using jammer. You use a simple jammer and interrupt the Wi-Fi network. That is also an attack, huh? That is, you are doing DOS attack on the wireless network. Now, what is the alter? In alter, you go ahead and, you know, there was an original LTE. LTE means, it is, cell tower. Now, attackers, they will be where the signal will be getting weak. Attackers, they will be deploying their own fake LTE tower, right? Now, what they generally do, the signal that is being sent, they will be kind of forwarding it, means, repeating it, making it strong, right? Now here, when we are in this particular situation, fake one. So people getting a stronger signal, those mobile will be connected from here. They will be sent wrong TCP IP detail, and either all of their data will be traveled through the fake servers and being recorded, or they will be giving fake IPs so that they cannot access the network properly and DOS attack. So these kind of the attacks are also there. Alter attack deploying the fake website, fake resource as well. So this is also something that is going to be in there, that is there. Even jamming signal, like I was talking about, remember some of the countries, they might be disallowing you to own a particular jammer. In many of the countries, jammers, purchasing jammer or having the possession of a jammer is illegal. Okay, so this is something that you have to keep in mind as well. Now there is going to be some of the terminologies that is very popularly widely used with the your wirelesses. Okay, in if you'll be joining some of the exams, you might get something these kind of the terminologies in the wireless. So I would love to okay, now there is a term like the war walking, or there is also going to be the like war walking, war driving. Okay, there is also war flying. Okay, these kind of things are there. So what is this term? Walking is when your attacker, they will be walking around with the Wi-Fi enabled laptop to find out where is the your open wireless networks. Same war driving, drive around with the Wi-Fi enabled laptop to detect open wireless network. War flying, using the drones. Okay, right. So this is going to be in there. Now, when we are talking about this war walking, war driving kind of a scenario over here, in this particular part, which is going with the name war chalking. Now, while you are just going around, what attacker they will be doing, they will be putting some symbol, draw some symbol on the public places to advertise different type of the Wi-Fi network. Like if there is a free Wi-Fi network, they will be going with something like this, which will be saying free Wi-Fi. Okay, my drawing is pretty bad, handwriting and drawing both. So this is going to be like free Wi-Fi. Now, there is going to be something like restricted one, right? So restricted one is going to be here like this. Okay, that there is a restricted one, a key. Okay, I was trying to draw a key. Okay, restricted one. Then if it will be like with the MAC filtering, a lock sign they will be adding here. Okay, so if you have to pay for it, a dollar sign in this key they will be putting. So like these different things they will be doing. So there could be something like honeypots. People they put the fake Wi-Fi so that people can connect and they can understand what kind of if someone want to do the attack, okay, and all those kind of a thing. This is for the testing purpose, right? Right. So there it is going to be the your honey pots over there. Okay. Now, what we will have is, these kind of the symbols, which will be called your war chalking symbols over there. Now, this is the few things, and apart from this, there are going to be the different tools that can be used to do, discovery and the, help you with the wireless hacking. So there are different tools. There is the tools like aircrack-ng, which we were talking about, Wi-Fi. Kismet is also good one, okay, which I have used. Okay, I have used Wireshark to capture the packet and work with that. So these two very popularly being used. Cowpatty is also good. Okay, OmniPeak is also good. Wi-Fisher is also good. These are some good tools. AirJack, OmniPeak, right? So these things are going to be in there. Okay, so these are the few scenarios that is, a few tools which you can use to go ahead and work with that. Now, there are not only these tools, like if you want to discover someone has hidden their SSID as well and you want to check that, you will be getting with the tools like Insider. Okay, so that Insider tool will be giving you the idea that what they are talking about. Like Insider is if you want to do the discovery, Wi-Fi discovery, you can use something like Insider. Okay, this kind of a tool. There is Net Surveyor, which for the Wi-Fi pen testing you might be using some time to see that where is the signal strong and all those kind of a things as well. So we have these kind of a tools as well which you will be using for the wireless cracking. Okay, so this is something very basic regarding the wireless network. Even if you want to, as I was saying, there will be a heap of the tools. You will search them, heap of the tools that is going to be in there. There will be ways of doing the n number of different kind of ways of going ahead and doing the wireless attack or wireless discovery. You can simply search that how to discover a hidden SSID. There will be the tools, the methods that will be popping up, that how you can go and get the idea regarding the same. Now one or two terms, because I just introduced you to the wireless as well. In the wireless, similar terms like war driving and all, they're also being used. So if I will go back to the page where I was doing the war chalking and all, so few more terms I would love to write over here. Like there is the, when we talk about the Bluetooth enable one. So there is the attacks like the blue jacking, blue snarfing. Okay, this kind of a thing over there, and also blue smacking as well, right, like that. Okay, so blue smacking is like means a send random packets, sending random packets to the your Bluetooth enabled device. So what will happen? It will crash, obviously, right? Device will be crashing, so that will be blue smashing that you are doing. Now, blue jacking is, let's say someone sent accepted your Bluetooth connection request, and you simply start doing what? You start doing the in the blue snarfing, you start doing sorry, yeah, snarfing is different, jacking is different. Okay, snarfing is stealing the information from a wireless device using a Bluetooth connection. So here you will steal information. Okay, now in the blue jacking, you will send, someone accepted your connection, and after that, you start sending the unsolicited message, right? And annoy the person. So that is going to be the your blue jacking over there, right? So this is going to be the few things that is going to be the part of your, Bluetooth kind of the attacks as well. There is going to be then blue driving as well. Okay, so what is going to be in the blue driving and finding out the Bluetooth connection. Okay, blue chalking, right, giving those again, diagrams and all that, which is open one and close one. These kind of the terms again will be used in the Bluetooths as well. So not only that, Bluetooth based attacks are also going to be in there, and there will be tools like for Bluetooth information gathering. You can use something like blue Z over here. Okay, blue Z over here. Even for Bluetooth, just Bluetooth jacking, you can use a tool with the name BTL jack, BTLE jack. Okay, like these tools are also available, which will be working perfectly fine with your Kali and Kali machines. Okay, so this is, guys, a bit of the idea onto the wireless today, that what is the security in the wireless and all. And when I'm talking about, if you want to see the particular practical or do the practical, you need that alpha card. With that, just check out our this video, wireless hacking demo. Okay, and here it will be telling you regarding the same, right? So this is it for the day, and tomorrow I think last day on the offensive, where we'll be talking about the web application based attacks. Okay, that is something which we are going to see tomorrow, and towards the end